All right. Welcome to the Better Man Podcast. Today is Monday, and we are getting ready to kick off the week. We're well underway, really, on a midday Monday to get the week rolling. I hope that you had a good weekend. It is time, though, to get ourselves, or stay focused. We got a huge week ahead. What am I talking about? It is the week where you decide to be a better man. So this is a great week ahead. We're going to do this together. I want to spend some time with you today talking about something related to relationships. I want to share something with you. We're dealing with women and some little warning signs, things to pay attention to. But first, let me say to you, if you are visiting with us here on the podcast today or you're a regular person on the podcast, feel free to engage right now by hitting the like button or just comment, share, hit the share button, subscribe if you're on YouTube, any of our podcast platforms. We are on the drive to 20,000 downloads on the audio podcast. So, hey, here we go for another time together. This topic is just, oh man, it is kind of a tough one, and yet I want to bring it to your attention. I sit with couples a lot. I don't like to call it counseling because I'm not I'm a biblical counselor, probably, yes. But, in the terms of clinical therapy, like I don't have any degrees in that kind of stuff. I guess my degree is Bible. And that's a good degree to have when it comes to helping people. There's no doubt about it. But when I sit with couples, I'll just call it that, and they're struggling in their marriage, or a guy is struggling with a female that he's wants a relationship or struggling in that relationship with, I think sometimes men don't understand, but there is a place in which you could push a woman so far that she's never coming back to you from it. It's hard because many times a man will take advantage of a woman in her gentleness, her sincerity, her love, her serving that man, and they will take it and just take it and take it. And she will give and she will give and she will give. And then there'll be a day where she says, I am all give out. And the man will think that he can win her back because he's always done it 30 other times. But there is a moment when it's over. And you don't ever want to cross that line. It is that way with men as well. But I just encounter this more. Pastor Gary, I don't understand. We're in this terrible place and she's not responding as this is happening. And I don't understand. Well, there is a time where men, again, if you push too far, she is done. A woman can check out and it can seemingly be very irrecoverable, irreconcilable. Now, I want to preface all of this by saying God is big and he's amazing. And I have watched him revive a situation where it did seem pretty hopeless. But let's make sure we understand as men that if we are not careful, this thing can really get messy. So let me give you some of these. Here's one of them. If you're a guy and you're in a relationship and she's not responding in any way to try to make you happy any longer, she doesn't care about making you happy. You've had some arguments and disagreements, and she's not coming back into any sense of wanting to honor you and care for, it is possible, guys, that she's moved on emotionally, mentally. And so I think that's a great warning sign. And you don't want to get to this place, but guys, again, if you are in a place where this is going on, you may have crossed that line. You don't want to get there. Obviously, the opposite of this is not letting any of this get to this position, understanding that you could absolutely lose her if you pushed her too far. She no longer is scared of hurting you, offending you, daggering you. She used to hold back, but she doesn't any longer. You may have really lost her. I think I've seen this, men will say she's saying things to me that she's never said before. Sometimes you'll hear her or you'll see that she's not even trying to impress you anymore. She's not going about any sort of dress way to impress you any longer. She's not doing anything to impress you. The opposite of this would be, another characteristic would be is if she might be done with you, if she's getting more physically fit in her life than she ever has, getting in shape physically, and she's not doing it for any benefit for you. And that means that she may have in her heart moved on to either A, start to look good for other men that are not yet in the picture, or she's moved on to the point where there is another man in the picture. And I've seen this play out. I think I shared on another podcast, like you see a man start radically transforming his body, and he's married or he has a woman, or you see a woman doing this as well. They just diet. All of a sudden, they've lost a lot of weight. They look amazing compared to maybe what they used to look like. And you see not long after she or he, they move on. They get physically fit and they move on. And so these are a little bit of warning signs. And it's so hard because anybody should want to get physically fit. You should. We should all want to be healthy. We should. But I'm just talking about something that I've seen over time. And so some of the ways you'll see is beyond just her passivity to impress you, to care about you, you'll start to see that she's setting boundaries. Maybe she wants to separate the money. Maybe she wants to she's starting to hoard certain things, protect certain things. She's putting up boundaries. And, that's a portrait of somebody who's trying to separate emotionally, relationally, and protect now things that are hers. And so boundary setting is a sign potentially in the relationship that she has crossed some sort of line. Here's another occasion. Another situation. She wants to get away from you wherever she can. She's taking longer to come home from work. Could be for other reasons too, but she certainly doesn't want to be around you. She's finding opportunities to distance herself from you physically. She's going to go on more trips with her buddies because she loves being away from you more than she loves being around you. Again, let me tell you another one that can be really unfortunate, and I got to be careful how I talk about this, but when a woman comes to know Jesus Christ, I think one of my early podcasts I talk about this, but she comes to know Jesus Christ and she's on this radical spiritual transformation. And you poke at it, you think it's dumb, or you say that you support it, you really don't. You don't go with her to any spiritual growth opportunity sessions, things like that, church. Or you just, you're just completely not supportive of anything spiritually on her behalf. There comes a time where she moves on because she wants somebody on her spiritual level. I want to say that is not something I would ever want for any couple. I'm just telling you, guys, if she's on fire spiritually and she's wanting to grow spiritually and you just keep pushing away, at some point she says, well, I'm on a different trajectory than him. I'm not saying I like it. In fact, if that's going on, I want to sit with a couple on something like that. But man, guys, you got to know when she's trying to grow up spiritually, when she's trying to grow up and mature and you don't want to, it's a problem. And that leads me to another thing. She starts craving just general maturity in the relationship. And you just won't do it. And the more she's craving that, the more distance is separating if you're not coming along. She doesn't want to party anymore. She doesn't want to waste time. She wants to get serious about a family, serious about a home, serious about life, building legacy in her life. And you're not. You're just out playing hours on your video games. And at some point, they just move on from that stuff. So these are little things. She's not worried about jealousy. She's not worried about whether you're maybe hanging around with other dudes anymore, because she's moved on with her other ladies and maybe some dudes as well. I think that, part of this is just you'll start to see her shut down. She becomes non-responsive emotionally and even communicatively. She's getting in a bubble. She's protecting herself, and she is shutting down, and everything around her is being protected. So these are just some warning signs, guys, that you are either there or right on the cusp, or you've crossed that line. And you need to know that there may come a time where if you're not growing, caring, investing in her, she's only responding because of your ineptitude. Not growing, caring, and investing in her. At some point, and you slander her, anger, maybe you're abusive verbally, emotionally, or even physically, they just say, I'm done. And then finally the man goes, oh yeah, I got to get some help. I got to get some help. Pastor Gary, where are you? Or counselor, where are you? And it doesn't go well with the counselor or the pastor because she's done. Now, again, God is great and God can do amazing things. And I have watched him on occasions really just show off in situations like this. But sometimes hearts are so hardened, it becomes impossible to recover. Don't let it get that way. Become a man of God, become a better man, become a guy who's growing and investing spiritually, guy who's putting God first. And then maybe as you put God first in everything in your life and become healthier in your own life, you can become a man that she needs you to be in your life for her. I'm going to pray for you. God, thank you for a great Monday, chance to start our week in doing something great for the kingdom. God, for you. God, I ask you to bless these men who are really wanting to get better on their spiritual journey. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, I'll talk to you Wednesday.